Welcome back, friends. I hope that you're having a lovely day. You know, when we are really considering what we go through in a day's time, we have to also be considerate about what another person might be going through. You know, sometimes when we find ourselves on this journey called self love, we're also tapping in with our Creator. It's like when you go out in nature and you are touching a tree. Look at that as caressing a rose petal, caressing someone's back. This is a give and take. That tree is a living creature. And I notice that there are a lot of trees being chopped down now. And I don't understand it, but God is allowing certain things to happen as well. We have people who don't understand each other, right? And when you don't understand another person, it's not really the space to just be judgmental, because honestly, we really don't know what that next person is going through. But in doing the work for ourselves, we're also doing the work for others. Prime example, if I'm working on myself, I'm working on how to love me better. I'm working on what works best for me. I'm working on even my meal plans. I'm working on what suits me. If I'm working on myself, I'm improving myself for you. Because when I am dealing with you, my patience level is going to be different. Now, I'm not going to say I'm not going to have a bad day sometimes and I might react to maybe you stepping on my foot or what have you. What I'm saying is a lot of people have not done the work and they're expecting residuals. Meaning, okay, I have a girlfriend who's working on her list of what she wants in a mate. I notice that when men are interested, they want to do more for you. And that's not even the case. If you have a father, if you have a brother, when you mention certain concerns, that's usually when they step up, because they want you to be appeased. They want you to be happy, right? If you have a loved one, you want them to be happy, so you're going to impart certain things to them. Like, I remember one time I needed a bookshelf put together, and I told my brother about it. He made time to put that bookshelf together. You maybe, I remember one time I had a fish, and I believe I mentioned Lloyd to you guys before. Lloyd was my fighter fish, and I noticed I couldn't put any other fish in the tank with him because he would just kill him. But Lloyd was my best friend at one point in time. And I know you said, what kind of, who has a fish as a best friend? Well, it was my best friend because my schedule did not permit dating. It didn't permit uh, really having a social life. I was working too much, and I was a workaholic at the time. So when I came home from work, just knowing that Lloyd was there to listen to me, it made me feel good. And one time I decided to clean his tank, and I didn't follow the instructions correctly, and Lloyd ended up passing away. My brother had to come and help me take care of that fish, because I didn't know what to do with it. Now, when your heart is involved, sometimes you do not know what to do. And this is why communication is so important. You know, again, our past is different from the next person's past. So sometimes it's hard for you to reach the next person when you are in your head. So you have to come out of your head and you have to talk to the person. And sometimes you have to pray on what to say and how to say it. But the better you know the person, the easier it will be to communicate with that opposite person. Communication is definitely one of those fields that is underrated. I say it's underrated because sometimes we don't know how to impart our communication to or with another person. And that's when things kind of go out of whack, because we don't know how to reach the next person. Prayer is when you have to really get into it and say, God, can you help me in this case? And you explain what it is and you tell God, and then the doors begin to open. I have one of my girlfriends that, I talk to her quite frequently. And recently we've been talking about this restaurant. Now this restaurant it's called The Breakers. I don't know if you're from Florida, The Breakers is pretty common. The Breakers is a restaurant and they have brunch. And when I say their brunch is off the chain, if you look online at their menu, it is impeccable. It has everything you could possibly consider. It's almost like going on a cruise and then some. but you have so many different options. You're liable to get full just by looking at a few of the options. But what you do is you put a little on your plate and you taste everything first. Then you decide on what it is that you want to make your main option, on that plate. And how do I put this? In a lot of cases, when we are dating, we see a lot of different options, and we're not sure of what option it is that we want to choose. You have to look at the person internally more so than externally. Because when you're dating a person, you want to know what it is that you're getting into. And when you're having this communication, you're interacting with the person, you're getting to know who that person is. And you get that one dish, and you say, okay, this is the dish that I want. But you got to maybe taste other options first, meaning that's what dating is for, right? You finish dating. And then when you reach a certain point where you say, you know what? All right, I've had enough of this dating life. I want to pick a specific person. When you're choosing that person, you're looking for certain things. You're looking to see, okay, is this person willing to listen to me? Is this person willing to deal with some of my corny things that I like to do? Does this person even like horseback riding, roller skating? Do they like the botanical gardens? What are their interests? When you have a conversation with a person, they tell you what their interests are, but what is it that they're showing you? Proof is another thing. You like to see what you're getting yourself into. And men are more visual anyway, let's be honest. Sometimes a guy will look at you and like me, I'm wearing jeans and sneakers today. Man, is there anything else she likes to wear? Like what? You want to be able to meet the person halfway. And in communicating, you're talking. Now, of course, I'm not going to wear this if I'm going out to dinner, right? But it's important to know. Does this person know? Does this person even like going out to eat? I'm a foodie, so of course I like to go out to eat. But more than a foodie, I really like to cook as well. So if you like to cook, you can always maybe share a meal. Maybe you guys maybe if the other person likes to cook in the kitchen as well, you can share ideas. Maybe you can cook something together. The thing is that are we really communicating? When I was talking to a few of my girlfriends recently, they assumed the guy knew what they liked, but they never really communicated about it. And that happens, I think, even when you're in a relationship for years. You don't communicate certain things, but you assume the person remembers from the beginning. In the beginning, everything was so new, and of course, there's certain things that stand out. But I think that a lot of men don't remember certain things that maybe you are in tune with. So it's important that we communicate. Now, of course, I'm going into personal relationship, friendships, or what have you. The relationship has to start off as friends in order for the person to really understand you, right? So, or understand more about you, should I say. And of course, this guy I was talking to recently, he was saying, if you put everything out on the table, he's going to know what to do, just like the Steve Harvey book says. So maybe if we operate on doing more listening, that might help. I'm just saying that everyone comes with their own recipe. So if you get to know the recipe by being a friend, then you'll be able to understand the person better. So, between that, that's been something that's been on the table lately. And of course, being respectful of our elders. And I know a lot of people say, my mama taught me to don't respect the person if they don't respect me. But as an introduction, when you first meet a person, regardless of what it is that they're doing, you still need to be respectful. Our elders helped build this country, so we need to make sure that we're keeping that in mind when we're meeting these people. Just a friendly gesture. We want to make sure that initially we try to, be pleasant. Smile. Smile means friendship to everyone. We learned that in that song, It's a Small World After All, growing up. So we just want to make sure that we are being considerate in our communication, okay? So that's what I wanted to talk about today. I wasn't going to hold you that long. So thank you so much for joining us here at Indigo Moon, and you have a beautiful day. You know that you're loved. God loves you. So do I.